you need to come to the mic, sir, and state your, but I don't think that power was going at that time. It may have, but you know, I just find it very interesting that this document with the judge's signature is in Commissioners Court minutes and not a vote of Commissioners Court. Barry, what's your take on this?
I'm not familiar with the situation. I wouldn't want to speculate.
To my recollection also, Commissioner, yeah, a lot of months have passed since then, but we were also moving forward around that same period with moving forward with the company to do appraisals for all the properties, considerable number of appraisals, as well as surveys. And as has been practiced with a number of grants where we hire a consultant, there are certain things that we delegate to them based on their experience to make recommendations to us. And I believe, I don't recall that we had any discussion in Commissioners Court about the appraisal company or the title companies either, for that matter. It seems to me that that was all, as I recall, all bundled about the same time. You know, we're under a lot of pressure to move this program forward, to get approvals. We're getting beat up by the citizens every day. You know, we're doing the best that we can at the grunt level to kind of move this stuff forward. And I'll be the first to admit there have been occasions when we may have not had all of the documentation at the time that it needed to be where it needed to be, but we're very conscientious about doing receive and file and, you know, trying to clean that up and keep the records as accurate as possible.
I mean, so that's kind of an interesting answer, John, because what has happened is during the meeting there was no discussion on title company or appraisal company or valuation company, even though all three of those contracts show up in the minutes of Commissioners Court meeting that day.
Commissioner, this is the first time I've looked at this because, as you know, I'm the former finance director, so I haven't stayed up with this occurred during my period of oversight. I haven't had time to look at it. But my first thought is, when I look at this, since I don't have all the information, I can't really draw a conclusion, but when I look down there, it says it's talking about a recommendation letter, somebody concurring with the recommendation letter. That's typically not the type of obligating documents that I normally see that come through Commissioner's Court. So I think what needs to be done is we just need to take a further look at it. But I wouldn't encourage anybody to draw any conclusions based on something that's signed by the judge or anybody else that's talking about concurring with the recommendation. That's not typically the type of language that we normally see in contracts. So I would just definitely encourage everybody to say that, John or somebody needs to take a further look at it.
I guess my other question is how does the auditor justify paying these expenses? What document did the auditor's office utilize to make these payments?
Every payment that was made has gone through the system, has been reviewed, and has been presented to court. And in all of the details of all the expenditures have been approved by the court. Now, if you want us to look at any one particular item, I'll be happy to go back and take a look at it.
Okay. I just find this interesting that that the county judge can sign a document and not get Commissioner's Court approval.
Well, I think the appropriate thing to do, Commissioner, if you really have those current concerns is, as a sitting commissioner myself, I know it's political season. I know there's a lot of things going on. And I certainly wouldn't trust your investigation. I think if you really want to lend some credibility to an investigation, you would have county legal or somebody else look into it and investigate it, or have the auditor go back and take care of any concerns or questions that you may have. Because it's clear to me exactly what's going on here, and it's not really why this comes up now or the timing of it all, because it's political season, the judge is in contentious race, and it's clear to me that it's all politics right now coming from you. Now, if you would let a neutral or detached party do the investigation, have them take a look at it, and then bring back the facts, I would trust those more so, quite frankly, than you presenting us something here without us having time to know what you're talking about or see all the documents that you're talking about.
Well, the thing of it is, you say it's political season, that is correct. But I got this document on Thursday, and today is the first day I could bring it up.
Did you send it to county legal?
No, I did not.
Yeah, you should have sent it to them and say, just send it to Cliff. Say, hey, Cliff, take a look at it. Take a look at this stuff. But you waited, of course, till you bring it here in front of court because Cliff isn't prepared. County legal's not prepared. They don't have the answers that you want. And you can grandstand and make a show as if, hey, look, I got you on here. But I don't even know what document you're talking about, Ken, what piece of paper you're talking about. You didn't send it to me to say, hey, Commissioner, take a look at it, give me your opinion. What do you think?
There you go, pass it on down. Everybody will have one then.
You got it Thursday. Why didn't you send it Thursday if you were so concerned about it?
Well,
Because you wanted to come here, Ken. You wanted to come here, Ken, and play on a gotcha moment in front of everybody. That's why you didn't send it to anybody Thursday.
I had to do some additional due diligence. And you can try to turn this all around, but it still comes down to county commissioner has a contract with the county for $100 million, and commissioner's court and the public did not have input on it. That's the real story, Commissioner Holmes. And if you want to sit here and quote unquote politically grandstand, go for it. But the facts are the facts. So,
If I might clarify, this is a well over $100 million buyout program, and the implication that this is a $100 million contract to a title company is just wrong-headed. Much of that money is going to be returned to the state because of duplication of benefits. Better than 90% of the money, I'd have to do the math, but I would assume that better than 90% of the money going out under this program is going to the citizens of Bolivar Peninsula, the people who are most entitled to this program. And I will again reiterate that there are a large number of documents based on we're talking about a $500 million recovery for this county. We're still deeply into that, and the level of paperwork that Connie, John Lee, and others on the recovery team have had to deal with this is astounding. And I'll be the first to say that there have been lapses in my ability to keep up with all of that. So we do our best to make sure that comes back to court and gets clean. As you well know, for well over a year, immediately after Hurricane Ike, under the judge's emergency powers, he signed an awful lot of documents that were recommended to him based on staff recommendations and the contact that we had with consultants who know what they're doing in this business. So I think it needs to be stated for the record that we have probably the best team you could ever amass to put together this buyout. And the decisions that were made, I think, were the right decisions, and we have certainly chosen the people that we think are best capable of moving this forward in a way that is most judicious for the taxpayers and for the citizens. Out of over 400 or close to 400 offers that have been made, I don't think we've had 20 that have been rejected. That's how good they're coming in for the citizens. And the fact remains that the rates that the title company is charging are better than any of the other companies in business. I just felt like I needed to say that. We're doing our best to help the county recover.
Well, I'm not trying to.
If anything, I'm guilty of a procedural error in getting some paperwork where it needs to be by the right deadline. But if I'm guilty of that, I'm guilty of doing that many times throughout Ike's recovery, and I apologize for that.